All right, we should be good, people. All right, live feed over there. I'll change you on my camera angle. All right, everybody. Hope you guys are getting in here all right. Let me know in the comments over here. I was going to use that camera, but heck with it. I'll just use this one. Morning, everybody. All right, are you guys catching my audio, catching my video? Everything solid? Let me know in the comments and we'll dive into this because the White House just dropped some stuff which I am not loving. And we're going to find out if you guys are gun dealers now. We're going to find out together right now. All right, so everything is solid. Let me tell you what, guys, we're just going to jump right into it. Make sure you send this out, you share this, because this is new executive action that the White House just dropped. Let me pull it up next to you guys, and I will start going through this with you, all right? All right, let me get everything solid. Lock and load, all good. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so if you guys are getting in here, welcome to the party. We are going to talk about what they just released from the White House a little hour ago, or within the hour. This is around what we've been waiting for the gun dealer things, okay? So with that said, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share this out. Let's get into it. I'm just going to read you guys what the White House just put out a few minutes ago, okay? This is, again, around who's a gun dealer and the new executive actions they just put forward, and it is now a proposed rule ready for comment. So we're going to get into all that. Let me get it. All right. So I see all your comments. I'm just going to read this really quickly. So this is a fact sheet from the Biden-Harris administration takes another life-saving step to keep guns out of dangerous hands. And I will have all of this linked, and I will have snippets and everything in a later video tonight. I'm just going to walk you through what they just released because it is breaking. In March, President Biden signed an executive order directing the Attorney General to move as close to universal background checks as possible within existing law. That's an understatement. Today, as a result of the executive order and the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the Department of Justice is taking life-saving action to reduce the number of guns sold without background checks and to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Now, I'm reading this from whitehouse.gov, okay? So make sure you guys are sending this out. This happened about a minute ago. So this is why the Biden administration, or Biden-Harris, Biden-Harris administration is taking action. Since 1994, federal law has required federally licensed firearm dealers to run background checks prior to selling or transferring a weapon. These background checks have helped keep guns out of the hands of more than 3 million felons, convicted domestic abusers, and other dangerous individuals. Interesting how they put that in reference to the Rahimi case. However, despite the law, individuals who should be licensed dealers have refused to obtain a license, skirting the background check requirement. Last year, Congress passed the President and President Biden signed into law bipartisan legislation to help address the dangerous problems of modifying the definition of who can become a federal licensed firearm dealer. Thank you so much, yes, man, I appreciate that. Members of Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, made clear that they intended for the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to better protect the American people from gun violence by clarifying when someone is supposed to be a licensed firearm dealer. Okay, so what we're doing now is that's just the backstory. Again, this is from whitehouse.gov. Everything will be linked and chopped up and delivered in a video format later tonight, so make sure you subscribe and you tune into that. But essentially what they're saying is, hey, we passed the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, and since we have a new toy to play with, we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to keep on going, and then we're going to get really into the important piece. Now, I'm going to skip the first part. No, I'm not. I'm going to read this. This is important. Today, the Justice Department has announced a proposed rule to specify what exactly the new definition in Bipartisan Safer Communities Act means on the ground. If finalized, this proposed rule would mean the following for people who are not selling guns in order to make money. If you have a gun you no longer need and you want to sell it to your family member, you do not need a license to sell it. If you buy and sell curios or relics or collectible personal firearms as a hobby, again, you do not need a license. But if you are offering a firearm for sale to make money and telling a customer that you can purchase and sell him additional firearms, you would presumptively need a license and need to run background checks. The same is true if you repeatedly offer for resale firearms within 30 days when you purchase them. Repeatedly offer. That's an interesting piece there. The proposed rule includes a number of other situations where, in civil and administrative proceedings and absent reliable evidence to the contrary, it will be presumed that you need a license. So you have to prove that you did not do something. You are assumed guilty until proven innocent. That is a big deal. And if you guys are just catching right now, we are going through the whitehouse.gov, the announcement for the new rule around who is and who is not a federal firearms licensed dealer and is required to do background checks. This is all breaking, and I'm going through it right with you guys right now. I will do, again, a more detailed breakdown with specific points later, so make sure you catch that. All right, so keep it going. Specifically, this is the specifics. Specifically, the proposed rule, if finalized, would clarify that an individual will be presumed to be engaged in the business of dealing in firearms and therefore must be required to become a licensed firearm dealer and run background checks if they meet certain conditions. For example, under the proposed rule, a person will be presumed to be required to be a licensed dealer and run background checks if they meet one or more of the following criteria. So what I'm about to read you, this is big. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you very much. Offer for sale any number of firearms and also represents to potential buyers that they are willing and able to purchase and sell them additional firearms. Repetitively offer for sale firearms within 30 days after they were purchased. So there's a 30-day, basically, you're going to get flagged if you sell something within 30 days. Interesting how they're going to know that. We'll get to that in a second. Repetitively offer for sale firearms that are like new in their original packaging. So if you hold on to a new gun for a long period of time, and you sell that to somebody, background check. You need to do one because, after all, it does look like it was brand new. I'm reading this directly off whitehouse.gov. Gov. Repetitively offer for sale multiple firearms of the same make and model, or, as a formerly federally licensed firearm dealer, sell firearms that were in the business inventory and not transferred to a personal collection at least a year before the sale, addressing the so-called fire sale loophole. What is with these people and loopholes? All right, so that's the criteria that they just laid out. Now, the proposed rule would also clarify that for civil or administrative actions, an individual will be presumed to have the intent and predominantly earn a profit, one of the elements of engaging in the business of dealing firearms, if the person engages in activities as such. Here we go. Creating a website or making business cards to advertise or market a firearms business, maintaining records to document and track profits and losses from firearm purchase or sales. Okay. Purchasing business insurance or renting space at a gun show. This is so vague. This is, man. Oh, I just got to continue. The proposed rule would make clear that there is no gun show loophole or internet loophole in federal law. That's weird. I've been convinced that it was like, the bane of all existence. Dealers who engage in the business of selling guns are required to obtain a license and run background checks no matter where they engage in the business of buying and selling firearms. That includes at a gun show or over the internet. Over the internet, that part right there, that's going to hit a lot of companies. You guys can figure out which ones I'm talking about, but that piece is a big one. Over the internet. We're going to see that again. The proposed rule is now open for public comment. Oh, we're going to make comments. The Department of Justice will consider the comments it receives in deciding on a final rule. Well, we've got some work to do, my people. So I got a couple more. I'm going to read one more thing, but basically, if you're just now tuning in, the White House, the Biden administration just dropped the new ATF rules, the executive actions around who is or who is not a firearms seller, or basically if you have to do a background check or not. They're putting out a bunch of different criteria. I will do a more in-depth video with actually snippets so you can read along, and I'll have everything linked. But right now I'm just kind of breaking what they did. It happened within the hour. All right, so now we have to do our obligatory continuing for gun control from the Biden administration. Check this. This rule is a significant step towards reducing the percentage of firearms sold for profit without background checks. It builds on previous Biden-Harris administration actions to save lives and combat the epidemic of gun violence. Vomit. However, to fully address this problem, Congress must act. The president continues to call on Congress to enact universal background checks legislation as well as other common sense legislation to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, require safe storage of guns, and end immunity from liability for gun manufacturers. These are life-saving measures that the vast majority of Americans and gun owners support to protect our country from the threat of gun violence. Insert talking points from Moms Demand Action here. All right. Nothing really too surprising there. That's kind of the rigmarole of the normal, we got to get gun control because I need it, please. But this executive action, again, if you guys are just now tuning in, please send this one out, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check back later when I give you a full breakdown on this. But this is some interesting stuff. So let me go back to the first thing that I saw right here. Again, this is the whitehouse.gov sheet. The first criteria that they had. Here we go. So I'm just going to read this again if you guys were late. Here's what they're saying is a gun dealer. For example, under the proposed rule, a person would be presumed to be required to become a licensed dealer and run background checks if they meet one or more of the following criteria. Offer for sale any number of firearms and also represents to potential buyers that they are willing and able to purchase and sell them additional firearms. Repetitively offer for sale firearms within 30 days after they were purchased. Okay, that one is very vague and weird. Repetitively offer for sale firearms that are like new in their original packaging. Okay, well, a lot of people in our industry really like to keep things mint, so that's going to be a thing. Repetitively offer for sale multiple firearms of the same make and model, so you can't sell multiple Glock 17s. And as a formally federally licensed firearm dealer, all the inventory could not come from a business into a personal. Okay, so that's what they're saying would be the criteria that would make you a gun dealer if you have things still in the original packaging. This is silly. This is just absolutely silly. But there's some more things that you can't do. This will make you a gun dealer. Here you go. Creating a website or making business cards to advertise or market a firearms business. Maintaining records to document and track profits and losses from firearm purchases or sales, so you can't know if you can't run a P&L basically. And purchase business insurance or renting space at a gun show. Okay, that one. Renting space at a gun show could be for something like bracelets, but whatever. This entire thing is a proposed rule. So here it is in a nutshell, very high level. They've dropped the new rules that they were expecting. Honestly, that's earlier than they thought. We thought they were going to drop it after Labor Day. That was the leak, but they just dropped it today. We've got an X amount of time, which I will figure out. I will do a longer video on this, but there is now a public comment time frame where we can get our comments in and basically make them read 500,000 comments, because Moms Demand Action is also going to put in 500,000, so let's just make them read 1 million because they deserve this. They signed up for this. But that's kind of where we're at, guys. If you are just now tuning in, I'm going to do another video tonight with all the snippets and everything all sourced like I normally do. But this is the fact sheet. This is the Biden-Harris administration taking another life-saving step to keep guns out of dangerous hands from the White House itself. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter 6969. We are still going to make comments whether they ignore them or not. That's as simple as it is. I know that it feels like they don't listen, but to be quite honest with you, that's their choice. My choice is what I can do here, and I will leave a comment, and that's as simple as it is. So if we all had that attitude, then we'd at least give them a lot of overtime out of their pockets and something to read. Just saying. Thank you, Eruption. Exactly, David. I'll read a few of these comments here. So if I use Excel to track my firearms and make, model, serial number, does that make me a dealer? It potentially could if there's a P&L on there according to the fact sheet, because, that's great. Who needs Congress when you can rule by fiat, lone spanker? That's very true. That's what I've been banging this drum on for like the past year and a half. Let's see. The comments are for court cases afterwards, my man. I approve of that as well. Always the long game. Let's get it. Oh, wow. 6969. I'm not even going to read that one out loud. Just rename gun shows to bang sticks. Bang sticks are an existing product. That's infringement of that, obviously. All right, so I'm just catching a few of these. Who picks this one up, GOA or FPC? Honestly, I bet you, if I had to put my money on it, I don't know. Honestly, I bet you they all do it. Who's going to do first? I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, John. Tyranny will never take our freedom. That's exactly right. Oh, man. Good. Can you give us a link for the DOG? Yes, I will absolutely do, Lee. Everything tonight, the video from tonight will have everything in it. I will go through the actual sheets and images of this. I'll have links. I'll have the comments area once it's available. I will absolutely have that. We will make it happen. All right, but that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to close that down, kind of make sure that everything's still solid over here. But I hope you guys like these lives when I do these things, because I try to make them as professional as possible, but still up to date and breaking news. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this type of stuff? As soon as it breaks, I go live and then I do a video afterwards? Or would you rather me just do a normal video? I'm just curious. Leaving likes does help the channel. Thanks, dude. No problem. What do you guys think, though? Do you guys love the lives? You like them? Okay. Live. They hit on this happening. Great job. Cool, lives. Okay, so you guys, it seems like you guys like the lives, and then I follow up with more details and more sources in later videos. Is that a good assessment? That's what I'm kind of picking up. There you go. Love the live. Good stuff. Good stuff. It sounds like that is Mix it up, keep things simple. Love it. Yes, do it. Awesome. See, like, I love this. I love that positive affirmation from you guys. Thank you. It's not perfect because I had this camera over here. I was going to make it work, but I guess it didn't. Nailed it. Thank you so much. Yep, hell yeah. All right, so if you guys want to go see this thing yourself before I put a video out, it's at whitehouse.gov right now. So it's breaking as of the last hour. So just letting you guys know. That's what's up. Maybe wait a few minutes. That's a good idea, Matt. Keep the great work. Thank you, guys. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to start working on the video, and I'll have it out tonight, probably around 8 to 9 p.m. Central Time. So most likely 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But make sure you guys watch that. And I hope that you guys get information out of this and you actually use it to act, because that's kind of why we do what we do, spread the information so we can pass these rights on to the next generation. But guys, thank you so much for watching the live. I'm going to work on the other video, and please spread this out. Thanks for your time. See you later, guys.